Good morning, traders. Papa Wall Street back with another review. This time we're reviewing my May trade call outs. Just wanted to do a quick update on these charts. Some of them have triggered and gone. Others are still setting up. Some have failed. So let's review let's say 20 or so charts that I called out during the month of May. So first up is April. First up is Apple. And with Apple, we're still hovering around this 150 level. It's been a really, really tough level to break. You could see acted as support back here. We lost it pretty quickly here. Resistance, resistance, resistance. We finally broke out and held yesterday, only to gap down today. So let's see if we can get a trigger back over 150. The other thing to note, we did have a death cross here. That's the 50 trading under, or the 50 simple moving average moving under the 200 simple moving average here. Blue line is the 50. Red line is the 200. Next up is AMR. Not sure where the trade plan went on this one. Have to look back on oh, there it is. Trying to hide on me here. All right, let's see. Over 138 was our first entry. And we see how it back tested that level pretty nicely here. And then a second entry over 165. And we're still holding tight on that, holding at 177. So Alta Mesa Resources looking pretty good here. AVD took an entry over 2430. It held for a few days, and yesterday just went right through our first target of 2478. So now 2776 will be our next target. BMY, this was early in May, slingshot squeeze. You can see the squeeze just never fired. It continued to set up. We finally lost 50 on RSI, and we pulled right back to this 1272 extension right here. Now it looks like we're failing that. We're also failing that 50 simple moving average. So potentially still having wave 4 setting up here. So we just have to be patient on this trade. Next up is CCJ. Entries over 2286. We're at 2530. We're hovering right under our second target at 2621, which is right below a declining 50 simple moving averages. We're holding nice over 50 RSI. No squeezes to note, but this is still an active trade. Next up is CF. It's a fertilizer play. Still in play here. We did not trigger, let's see, 516. We got that initial trigger inside day, failed to the downside, back under 105. What I would say is, let's go back here. It's holding 93.79. We are holding under that 50 simple moving average. So I would say back through the 50 simple moving average and or back through 100. I think could be a pretty good play here. You can see the squeeze looking to potentially fire to the downside. So going to keep a close eye on CF in the coming days and weeks. COP holding nicely over our 107.90 trigger, flagging right under our first target of 116.35. Watch for a second trigger over that level. Next target over that would be 122. CVX, Chevron, holding nicely over our trigger. I still have this as a potential wave 5, so this one we'll just have to have a little patience on. This is energy, obviously Chevron, oil and gas play. So yeah, just be patient on this. I meant to update you all this morning on ENPH. Apologies for not putting that in my daily morning email, but this one looks pretty good here. So we took that trigger through 179. That was a pretty easy trigger because we had a compressed 50 and 200 simple moving average together. We had a nice breakout above that, nice test and break of the of the symmetrical wedge. And now we're putting in an inside day under our first target of 197.16. Over this 200 and then 216. I think this will be a tough level. So if you are still in this trade, just be very careful into 216. It is a 618 retrace, and it will be resistance as well. So just be careful there. Next up is GIS. Let's see if we could find that trade plan. There it goes. These things like to hide on me. Not sure why. Maybe they're embarrassed. This one's embarrassed because it failed. So we did get test into our trigger. You see, I just wanted to, this is a really great case point here. You see how it came into the trigger and it just failed? This is why you wait and for that daily close over. You could certainly take the trade through the trigger. You just have to make sure that we're closing above the trigger. Now this is looking a little bit more like a left shoulder, head. Let's see maybe if a right shoulder forms, and then we'll have some sort of neckline here, and then this one might be short to the downside. So keep a close eye on GIS. This is why, like, you keep looking at charts, and as you're given new information, you have to adjust your thesis according to what the chart is saying. Here's HPQ. This is Hewlett Packard. Is this another one where the trade plan is hiding? Not sure where the trade plan went on that one. But this one's looking pretty interesting here. Let me just do some fib work here. Yeah, I think the trigger would have likely been through 39.61. It looks like we broke out. We came to our first target, and then we failed, or we are failing this morning. So keep an eye on 39.61 for HPQ. Here's INSW. This is a shipping play. Trigger was over 22.80. We broke out. We back tested. We're holding right underneath our first target of 24.93. So keep a close eye on that level. Next up is LTHM. This one, we got the breakout, had a nice push through our first target, came near our second target. Inside day, failed to the downside, came right back down. Now we're back testing the 618 at 27.15 and bouncing. So that's our 618. A lot of times you see that breakout on that 618. You might see a back test is exactly what we saw. But look at how this trade trapped the bulls, right? If you bought that bull breakout over 32.04, which was our previous high, it trapped the bulls the next day, put an inside day in, and then a failure to the downside. So very tricky market. You have to really keep a close eye on these trades. Here's NFE. I did update everybody this morning on this. Trigger was over 44.57, got a nice breakout back test, and we're pushing higher. Once we break 49.30, 53.58 and 57.63 are my targets to the upside. Here's NOC. Initial entry was at 408. Then I put out a new entry at 471.99. You can see we came right into that level here and failed. So no trigger on this new entry. Here's SOI. Entry was over 1207. This has been a nice trade so far. Let's see what we're up to here. We're up about 20% on this trade. Broke through our first target of 13.16 and watching to see if we could hit our next target possibly next week, 15.08. You could see that was our previous highs back here. Just be very careful into this level. I didn't do any wave work on this, but if I'm just going to look at it objectively, this is looking like a wave 1, 2, wave 3, wave 4 pullback, and potentially wave 5 back into the highs here. So, yeah, beautiful slingshot squeeze, nice momentum, hidden bullish divergence. It's got everything I like on a chart. So congrats if you're still in this, but just be careful coming into this 1508 level. I would definitely be tightening up stop losses. You could use an ATR trailing stop. Right now I have it on 2.5. So yeah, the trailing stop has it at 12.49. I would at least move my stops up to just under 13.16, maybe $13. You might get a back test on the 786, so just be careful there. Next up is Tallow. Entry was revised up to 2039 because we did fail on our initial entry. So I did want to revise it up a little bit, and that looked like it was a good call because we hit our first two targets already. Now over 2309, watch 2582 to the upside. Next up is VET. This is a newer trade idea. Let me take that off so we don't need to see that. And so we're flagging here. This is looking like a pretty nice trade here. or nice trade idea. Let's just do some quick wave work. This is looking like a wave 1, 2, possibly wave 3, and then you have your wave 4 here. You know, wave 5 could be somewhere, you know, you see a 200% extension. Yeah, wave 5 might be somewhere over here. It might be between $28 and $30, wave 5 top. But these wave 5 also can extend. You can see we did have a squeeze fire off. Nice momentum, but we didn't have that big of a push in price. So, yeah, I mean, it still looks pretty good. I want to wait for that trigger, for that 2361 trigger before we take this trade to the upside. Here's another really nice trade. VTNR. Was chuckling with my friend Ben at Pattern Profits. I did snag this idea off of one of his velocity scans or relative strength scans. And yeah, we took that nice trade over 1143. We hit our first target. We hit our second target. Look how beautifully we're flagging here under our second target. This thing looks like it could possibly go up to $23. So watch over 1548 for a move to 1885, $20, and then 2314. And then last but not least is Zim. Trigger was over 6320. We did get that trigger up to 70, but now we're back testing that 50 simple moving average. We're back testing on top of the trigger. I think if we continue to hold this level, we can continue to move higher. So yeah, that was pretty much everything. Let's see how many we got. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20. 20 on the dot. So 20 trading days, give or take, in May, 20 trading ideas. I try and do at least one good, solid idea a day. And you can see, for the most part, almost all of these went green. I think a couple never triggered. But of the ones that triggered, I think only a couple failed, right? Maybe 2 or 3. So, you know, it's probably about a 75%, win rate on a trigger. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the results of May. And for those of you who are not members or considering joining my group, I will leave a link down below so you can join us. I have quarterly and annual plans that include education. I send out morning emails with these trade ideas. I send out weekend reviews that I'll go over 10 to 15 names. The thing outside of the actual trigger, the official triggers that I send out, there are a number of charts that I will not alert, but I will give you ideas of how to trade them. So, maybe I'm only giving 20 official trade alerts, but there's probably another 20 or 30 chart ideas that I put out throughout the month that are very actionable. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely, if you like this content and you're a swing trader and you're struggling in this market, I could definitely help. So would love to have you join our group. And please, if you have any questions, just let me know. The best way to reach me is to DM me on Twitter. That's at the Pup of Wall Street ST. Right, at thepupofwallst.com, or this is not .com, but on Twitter. And obviously, you have me on YouTube and I'm on Instagram as well. But the best way to reach me is through DM on Twitter. So hope you enjoyed this May trade idea review video. June is starting off pretty good. We've got about 5 trade ideas so far out. This is June 3rd, so we're doing pretty well so far. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you on the other side. And thank you to my members for your continued support. Do appreciate all of you that have been with me. Hope to see you all in the market again tomorrow. Take care, everybody.